behind me and drop kick it across with my back heel. So,
right.
Yeah, it's nothing new. It's been around for,
A while.
in my case, decades.
In your day, yep.
Yeah, still can do it. Yeah, it's easy to do. You can have a go at it one day. If there's a competition, there's a competition to get yourself filmed and put it on half-time.
I had coaches.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
I had coaches in my day that would have slapped my head if I'd have done crap like that, mate.
Facebook page. Win the prize. These two boys will take you out for dinner. There you go.
Oh, nice. But I'll tell you what, that weekend, especially Mount Smart Stadium, boy, they would have been loving it. Of course, the people that actually did show up. And the women's game, man, what they were down with. They were down like 12-4, I think, at halftime, weren't they? And then they started to mount a good comeback. And boy, that was another really good game, though, wasn't it, Reno?
Well, 2 points. That's all it was, basically. And what I enjoyed about it was these girls had just come out of 4 weeks of NRL competition, and we're going for friends, all friends, yes, right across the field, yes, here as well. And they put on their jersey that they represent their country for, man. They threw everything at it.
Yep.
That's why there were a lot of injuries in the
yes,
game.
Some big hits, man.
With old Kimi Nata
yep,
taken out there with a knee, and then
yes,
that gave for the Aussies, you had Kizzy Apps. She was gone as well, but just tells you the physicality of the game. And
very physical.
Really, basically, yes, we know the Jillaroos won, but when you listen to the girls talk, they were happy with it being like a draw,
very
because
much
it felt
so,
like both teams deserved to win, and they threw everything at it.
Well, it was just a spectacular game. Just shows the women's game, and I know I was watching the game with a couple of old hardy, men, and they were actually really impressed. We saw some of those big hits getting dished out. We saw some of the skills and the fast running back moves by the Aussies, and even the moves by the Kiwi girls themselves. I mean, it was just such a brilliant, a brilliant game, and it just shows how good the women really are, isn't it, Reno?
Oh, yeah, totally. You just take a look at Ali Brigginshaw,
yes,
the standoff for the Kangaroos.
Magnificent.
That kind of move she got stuck there. Yep. A couple of steps, reached down, got a try. Set up the very first try for them. Then you take a look at Isabella Kelly, big run down the side,
yes,
threw off young Maynard, and she couldn't grab her and bet the fullback, and then that was a runaway try. So, yeah, it was just a couple of those moments from mistakes by our Kiwi girls that turned into points for the boys and for the Aussie Jillaroos, and that's how they won it. They kicked right at the front, missed that. But hey, it was overall, like you say, Keith, it's just a brilliant game to watch, and man, wish you can see more league tests.
Yeah, like that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then we got
well worth the $35, eh? Well worth it.
Absolutely. Oh, for sure. And then, of course, we got in to see the men's game, and that was a tough one. Though, the Kiwi boys, they kind of got off onto especially in the second half, but it looked kind of dicey. I was thinking, oh no, it's like the Warriors. It's like the Warriors. The comeback from the Aussies near the end, but not quite to be for them. But boy, what a great game, eh?
Oh, I like the very start in the 3rd minute, I think it was. Valentine Holmes out wide, gets the first try, and I thought, oh, okay, this is going to be
I thought so too. After watching the girls, I was thinking, oh, what the hell is going on here? Yeah.
It's the bloody time. But then they came back. Credit to the Kiwis,
they did.
When the Aussies scored, we came back.
Yeah.
And it's just some of those brilliant moments where they were just throwing it down the sideline, the Kangaroos, and they were running everything compared to the traditional way they would kick it or go for the line. They had their new players out there running around, and same with the Kiwis. When you think of names like Brandon Smith, Joseph Manu, have really stepped up to the mark, and these young kids have cemented themselves into their Kiwi jersey for a long time. So
absolutely.
That's exactly what I would guess Madge or Maguire wanted to see and get. And I think supporters of the Kiwi, what they've done is justice to last year's demise at the World Cup.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Forget about that. That's gone now. Everyone's focusing on the ride of what they've done on Saturday night. So it's what had to be done to save the game and get the International Game of League back up there to a good talking point, because it was all rubbish. Hence the reason why there was not many people there. Everyone wrote the Kiwis off, and Hey, well, they had every right to write the Kiwis.
They did.
Because they were rubbish last year.
They were.
And then they went to Denver and got blown away in their second half against England. So, really, why would you pay money to go watch a team in hindsight you knew?
And a lot of people didn't. Yes, a lot of people decided to stay away.
Yeah, exactly. And look at this, they won and now regret. They missed out on a good weekend.
Boy, did they what. Anyway, that was our whistle, Double D.
Yeah, that was our whistle for half-time, not full-time, half-time of half-time.
Half-time of half-time.
We'll have the full-time whistle at full-time of half-time.
Okay.
On behalf of the half-timers, I would just like to say big thanks to Joachim Currid, who brings us our music intro. Check him out on joachimcurrid.com. He's also on YouTube, Twitter, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, Spotify, Instagram, and follow him on Facebook. Another big thanks goes out to Silent Partner, who brings us our outro. Check out their music on YouTube. And also, thanks must go to the Polish Ambassador for the backing music for this promo. Check out the Polish Ambassador on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Beatport, Instagram, Twitter, and on his website, polishambassador.com.
You're listening to a podcast produced by Turangi FM, #1 iwi radio station in Aotearoa. We play each halftime session on Turangi FM Wednesday afternoons at 4 p.m. You can listen in live on our Turangi FM media page. Just click the main Turangi FM logo to tune in online. Or, if you're in the Gisborne area, we're on the radio frequencies 91.7, 95.7 and 98.1. Now back with the Fools on halftime.
Yes, and we're back for another half of half-time.
Yeah, and of course we were talking league before we went to the break, and I tell you what, was it one heck of a game, the Kiwis up against the Kangaroos. Great stuff from our guys who really, like you said before the break, Reno, it really was redemption for our Kiwi boys, wasn't it?
Oh, totally. Everything was against them. They had their backs up against the wall. We know the #1 team of the world is always hard to beat, Keithy, and to do that and bring home that win and to hang it on at the end, it was like, oh no, here we go, because I was yelling at that TV thinking the Kangaroos, you will never know what they will do over 80 minutes.
Yes.
And they could even come back and get you right at the tail end.
That's right.
Look what they did going into halftime. We had the lead.
Yep.
Then they got that throw right on halftime to go comfortable, 4 points in front.
Yep.
But you got to give it up to the Kiwi forwards. They went forward, mate, gave the platform for the backs to do what they had to do.
They did.
Jared Waidea-Hargreaves, always hard ass when he comes to play in the Kiwi jersey.
Yep.
He just wants to have a fight sometimes and get himself into trouble. That turns into a penalty, 2 points to the Kangaroos. They laugh at him. But he had the last laugh. He had a good game.
Yep.
Brandon Smith, young kid from Waiheke Island, massive debut at
Great
Hooker.
stuff, yep.
You know, when you're being taught by the best in the world at the Melbourne Storm, and you're under the wing of Cameron Smith, well, you're going to get taught by a better mentor or tutor. So that kid's got everything on the platform for him. Then you go to the back line from Tokoroa. Don't know if anyone's home in Tokoroa. I think they're there at the game. Watching young Joseph Manu, outstanding game of centre. Most probably better than his teammate from the Roosters, Latrell Mitchell. Just some of the offloads, and you can just see the confidence in the team as well. So, a well-deserved win. Dylan Zelezniak, man, when he returns that ball, he's like 100 miles an hour.
Was he what? Yeah,
you know, he's a captain. Yes, a lot more leaders, but he's just, as he says, he's just got the C next to his name. He played his own game, delivered it real good. Ken Mabolo delivered the ball as well back. The whole team played well. Johnny Johnson showed a bit more running.
He did.
Which was good to see. About time, I should say. Yep. I don't think he deserved the man of the match.
Oh.
But,
what?
You know, I don't think he deserved it. To me, I thought it would have been Brandon or Joseph, but that's how they chose it. But let's just talk about the win. Savour the win, and about time, you know, because last year was rubbish. It was crap.
So, right, though, you know, that performance really came on the backs of the forwards. Well, I don't know, really. It's hard to say it's on the backs of the forwards because, it should be on the backs too, but the backs are the backs. But it really was, those forwards just continually went forward. And I'll tell you what, when Aussie scored, they were at 6s and 7s. It was really hard to understand what was happening, or what was going to be, the looks on the faces of the Kiwis at that time when Holmes scored, Valentine Holmes, they were like in tatters. But boy, did they get it going! And once their forwards started going forward, that's when they started dominating. And I know certainly at the half-time break, they had most of the possession. They had completed a lot of their sets, as well as that. They had a heck of a lot of the territory, and I think the Aussies had to make double the tackles. So, boy, at half time, it just goes to show what the Kiwis certainly can do. But as you said, the Aussies, they can do anything, because a couple of long range tries from them, and they were right back into it, weren't they?
Yeah, totally. They gave us a bit of a scare at the end there. Now, when you made that point about Valentine Holmes and they got into the huddle there and it looked like they were down and out, there was one man that stepped up to the mark, and there was Proctor. He really gave it to the team. He was very vocal. You could see it on the camera.
Yeah.
He blew the hell out of them. He hasn't come back from being in a bit of trouble, him and Jesse Bromwich from last year. Let's dig deep, boys. Let's do this for the family that have turned up to support these younger ones coming through. Do it for the country. And they got there and they did it in the end. So there were a few of those senior moments where those players stepped up to the mark and really told them how it was. And that's what they needed, and that's good leadership from those guys who've had the experience.
For sure.
Push it through. So they pushed and persevered, even when the Aussies scored a couple of back-to-back tries there in their second half to give us a fright. So, they just held it in there. The emotion when the full-time went, they won. They've knocked over the mighty Kangaroo team.
Yes.
You listen to Boyd Cordner. He knew they got beaten by a better team. No different to the grand final when the Storm spoke about it and they got beaten by a better team. Very similar with the Roosters in their approach. So, overall, the best team won on the day, I guess, and that's done dusted. Kiwis move on. They're currently in Abu Dhabi, heading through to Dubai, then up to Northern Hemisphere and continue with their tour up there as well. So, plenty more international rugby league. It's just stupid times of the morning. You got to get up at 2 or 3 o'clock to watch it. That's the unfortunate thing.
Oh, well, that's that's part and parcel of it, I suppose. But the Kingdom of Tonga come to invade Mount Smart Stadium, no doubt, this coming weekend. That's got to be a game I'm looking forward to. What about you there, Reno?
Oh, that's huge, Keithy. The people that turned out for them arriving in the country. Today was their big fan day at Mount Smart Stadium. They had over 18,000 turn up today. That's more than that turned up at the Kiwi game on Saturday. So their fans alone, everything is a sea of red. Everything from your elderly mobility scooters through to your houses in Auckland, right through their cars. All you can see is Mate Tonga, and it's just a lot of red and white. And that crowd, I know the Aussie commentators were arguing. They all wanted to come over and commentate the game because the crowd is electric.
Yeah.
So when you get commentators saying, I want to go commentate the game, they're arguing over it.
Right.
It just tells you the impact and what this game has, the people has, and the Tongan team. Everyone's been waiting for it in the play against the Kangaroos. So, the team of the 2017 World Cup up against the World
winners.
Cup champions, number one team in the world. It's going to be massive. I can't wait.
I think it's going to be great. One of the reasons why I'm looking forward to this game is because last year, I feel, and I know a lot of our Tongan cousins feel the same way, is that they kind of were robbed. This is how they feel. I'm not saying that they were robbed, but this is how a lot of them feel. They were robbed of playing in the final, and they got so close, especially in the last 9 seconds when they were playing England in the World Cup last year. They got just so close, and I think they feel like if they're going to, have maybe what should have been probably the game last year for the World Cup, Australia and Tonga.